How's it going, movie fans? My name is Jonathan, and I'm a man of movies. And welcome to the Loki live stream, where we're going to be talking about all things thoughts, spoilers, and theories about Episode 5, Journey into Mystery. And today's going to be a little bit different, as we don't really have a special guest today. But like always, guys, I can't do this without my co-host. What's up, Dan?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, I love that you brought back the green scenery, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
But you know, Dan, it was kind of weird because today I was on my way home and there was this beggar on the base of my stairs, and they were just begging me. He's like, "Please put me on the Loki live stream, please." And I said, "You don't gotta beg, man. You're my official second co-host now, because Jace is here.
Please, sir, is there room for more?
Is there room for more?" I love you, Jace. I love it. What's up, bro? How's it going?
It is going much better now that I'm here with some of my favorite people.
Woo! Who is that, by the way?
What, my favorite people?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll probably be popping on in a second.
Oh, I mean, we don't have a special guest, so.
No, it's you
weird.
guys.
doing this on a Wednesday, right? Like, we all got work tomorrow. It's not the weekend, but we saw Loki either way, so.
It's true.
Guys, we got some comments to go in before we start getting into this. We got Sean. Sean is in the chat, everybody.
Hey,
so
Sean.
happy you made it, bro. So happy. I hope one day you become as big as of a Marvel fan as we are.
One day.
What? One day. My wife is here. Awesome. And we got Burja Rocar in the chat, everybody.
Who the heck is that?
Some weirdo. I don't know.
Tell him to get out of here.
Eric Thorpe. It wouldn't be the Loki live stream without Eric. Can we all agree? Can we all agree?
Yes, 100%.
That's just how it is, man. He says, I know this is off topic, but has anyone seen episode 5 of Loki?
Dude, well, come on, man. Not the time or place.
I hope you saw it, man, because we're about to spoil the crap out of it, okay? Let's see. Eric already says this was definitely my favorite episode of the show. We'll get into it, Eric. We'll get into it. Didn't get to see this episode, but still staying to see the review. Babe, please see the general review, the general thoughts, but please get out for the spoilers, because once you do come home, I want to see it again with you. And Sean says, one day maybe he will be a Marvel fan like us.
Just take out the maybe, and we're good.
And Eric says, hey, by the way, John, haha, and never answered it. There's nothing after this, guys. Eric, I don't know what to say to that. Maybe you're typing something really long right now. All right, guys. Let's get into our general thoughts of what we thought about episode 5. Because it's a little bit weird now, I always give it to my special guest. Dan, I want to give it to you first. What were your general thoughts of Journey into Mystery?
This was an episode. I enjoyed this one, a lot. It's my favorite, or definitely my favorite, probably maybe my second favorite, because I really did like last week's when I rewatched that one. It's hard between these two, but I really enjoyed this one. Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was a lot to enjoy. There was a lot to enjoy in this one for sure. Jace, what do you got to add to that, dude?
That this was definitely my favorite episode so far, without a doubt. Like, last week I had to rewatch it again, as I mentioned in my review, and they gave me like a whole new appreciation for it. And to be fair, I think that's what most people should do if you get a chance. Watch things a couple of times through, and you'll really gain like a new perspective on stuff. But I knew damn well just through the first watching, I was like, yep, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is what I wanted. I mean, it's already been said time and time again, so anyone who's kind of got an idea of what I like, multiverse is right up my alley. I love the fact that we got what we got, right, without going into crazy stuff yet. So this was just exactly what I was hoping it would be, and then some, honestly.
I really enjoyed this one too, guys. And we talked last week about how I would have liked if there wasn't a post-credit scene and if it left us there and it opened up here. But the way that this one ended up opening, I'm okay with that post-credit scene because it puts you right into the action. There was no time for you to be, whoa, I'm shocked. How is Loki alive? No, you know he's alive. That's not the point. That was the point of the mid-credit scene last week. The point here is to push us forward with where they're at right now. This weird, and not a spoiler because this is the description, the void. This is what the description of the show. They're in the void now. And what it entails, what could possibly be after them, and how they could get out. It's not my favorite, but it is my second favorite. It is my second favorite. And it's not even by a hair. I gotta say that last week's episode of Loki was still some of my favorite Marvel I was able to see. This one for me felt like Loki, the Easter egg episode. It's the Easter egg hunt, everybody, and that's how I felt. Not to say that there weren't moments of emotion or moments that added on to what we're going to be seeing in the season finale or even in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, but overall, I had so much fun with this episode, more than I resonated in the vein of an episode 4, but still fun nonetheless. I don't know if any of you guys want to add on to that.
I think that's, for what it's worth, I feel like that's probably why this is my favorite one so far, is just, look, when it comes down to it, I think, we can all probably agree that not every single thing has to be the greatest thing that ever was, right? Not everything has to be the best thing that was ever written or ever directed or ever acted. Sometimes you just want to have a good time. And that's exactly what I had with this episode. I just had so much fun. Like, I won't say anything yet, but like Richard E. Grant made my day. Like, I swear, man, I can't get over the fact that they convinced him to do that. He just was phenomenal in that role. And yeah, I could definitely agree. If you want to say, like, compared to other substantial moments, maybe not quite as many, but I do think that there was a lot of things that they kind of snuck right past us in this episode. This was actually the first time that I've taken notes for the stream. Usually I'm just like, let's talk about it. And then I was like, no, I got some things I want to mention at some point. So I'll wait and we'll get to it.
Dan, how did you feel about Richard E. Grant, bro? I want to just give it to you real quick before we get to spoilers, because I didn't think that Richard E. Grant was going to have as big as a role as he did in this episode. I mean, it's Richard E. Grant. I knew he was going to have a role, but to have as big as a role that he had in this episode, what were your thoughts on that before we go to the spoilers?
Yeah, I thought he was just, like Jay said, he was phenomenal. He was so fun. You could just tell he was having fun. Yeah, I liked him so much.
Richard E. Grant might be my favorite Loki.
Oh man, it's a close call. It's a close call.
It's good. It's good.
I'd watch a whole series based on him, just for what it's worth.
Oh, I would love that. We might be getting into that. I don't know. Let's get into some comments before we spoil it for everybody. Eric finally giving me an answer. He says, I just meant hello to you, John. LOL. Since I said hi to everyone in the chat, but not you since you weren't in the chat. Oh, it's okay, Eric. You're all good, man. My wife responding, wow, it's that good. I can't wait to see it. It's good. For me, it's good. It's my second favorite episode of Loki. But I mean, you guys loved it. You guys loved it. Who knows? Maybe she'll love it. She'll be with you guys there.
Francis, it's the best thing you'll ever see in your life. I'm just joking. But I'm joking. But it's good. It's really good. You're gonna like it.
I mean, with people like Dan in the world, it's not the best thing she could see in her life.
I couldn't agree with that more.
Thank you.
Francis, luckily I'm not on the stream to spoil it before we're in the spoil territory like I did last week. I don't know if you spoiled it that bad though. I don't remember what exactly you spoiled. I remember he spoiled something, but I don't remember how bad the spoiler was. And Eric says hi to you, Dan, my man.
Eric.
Guys, we are gonna get to spoiler talk. Real quick, literally just snuck in. My brother just came in the moment I said that. What's up, Gordo? My brother's here. All right. We're going to spoil everything, so get ready for that. Jace, you said how you actually took notes for this, right?
Yes.
Kind of go. I did not, for once. I did not take notes. I didn't take notes because I just thought that this was an episode that was so chaotic in such a fun way that we could be chaotic and just jump around. I didn't feel like there was enough here to emotionally resonate and relate with. So I'm like, there's not much I can take notes on. It's a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of fun. No, I guess you're going
to emotionally resonate with Alligator Loki?
I love it. I love it. I want a Funko Pop of him.
Yes, Dan, I love it.
Look, I've never had a Funko Pop in my life, but if I were to get some, I would want one of every single Loki that popped up in this episode.
Oh, Richard E. Grant, I need it. I need it in my life. Okay, we do start out in the void, and immediately we're introduced to this cloud in the vein of a Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, Galactus fart cloud. That's what I used to call it, the Galactus fart cloud. And for a second, I thought he said Galactus, and I was shocked. Did he just say Galactus? He said Eliath, right? Eliath?
Eliath, yep.
No idea who that was. I ain't gonna lie to you and say, man, I know everything about the comics. Let me spit some knowledge. Had no idea who Eliath was. And it wasn't until I saw Rick from Unpop Culture, he came out with his spoiler review for Loki, and he mentioned how Eliath is actually very much connected with Kang the Conqueror. And I didn't know that. So I decided to look up Eliath. And there's not much there's stuff on him, but there's not much on him. If you look him up, it's not like you're gonna be scrolling. It's a couple paragraphs and you're done. But he is very much tied in with Kang the Conqueror. Dan, did you know that? Did you know that Eliath was? I didn't either. I guess with Jace's reaction, I want to give it to Jace first, just to see if he can give us some knowledge that we didn't even know about.
So actually, I mean, really, what you mentioned is kind of as far as it goes, unfortunately. There's not too much more to it other than the fact that I just got more excited because as little as I know about him, I knew enough to just be like, that's another Kang connection. And I was just like, we're one step further that, is getting to that. And can I just bring up, before they even showed Eliath, when they were zooming, is that shot that was zooming its way into all the Lokis? Yeah. So as it's going through the void, we pass by that. What we kind of saw in the mid-credit scene was that partially destroyed Avengers Tower building. Okay, but if you look closely, it doesn't say Stark Industries or Avengers Tower. It says Kang, but it's spelled Qeng. Kang Enterprises from the comics was owned by, and this is the part I had to write down because I forgot his name. Was owned by a guy named Mr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin is just another alias of Nathaniel Richards. Nathaniel Richards is Kang the Conqueror. Guys had like a million aliases. But anyway, point is, that's just another thing that's like, you've got to be kidding me. When I saw that, I had to rewind it a couple times and really try to pause in that moment because I was like, did I really just see that? Yeah.
Dan, did you have all those gears working when you saw that, or were you just as confused as I was?
I'm trying to remember the zoom in part. I don't. No, I don't. No, I did not at all. I would have known that anyway. Like if I saw it spelled like that, I wouldn't have even thought it was King. I would have thought it was like Kwong or something.
Yeah, you would have known. It's like, who the heck is Kwong? Is he from Shang-Chi? Yeah, Dan, I'm with you, bro. I was so confused when I was watching the first time. So, but Jace, I do know what you're talking about because when I did get home, I did some research and I saw that the Qeng Kang Enterprises, which is owned by Nathaniel Richards, aka Kang the Conqueror. So another hint that this is all gonna lead up to Kang. Now, before I get to the comments, Do you guys think this is another Mephisto thing where I don't either. We'll explain that after the comments, but if I can go in a circle real quick, do we think this will be another Mephisto where they're gonna psych us out and it was another villain all along? Dan.
Well, so I don't know, because we had a lot of clues pointing towards Mephisto as well, and Nightmare. So, but not as concrete as this, though, I don't think. So, like those were like, oh, there was a fly on the windowsill. That must be Mephisto. But with that, you just said Nathaniel Richards, and all that. That's more concrete. I don't think it's the exact same.
Chase.
Yeah, no, I echo completely what Dan said. For what it's worth, I think that with Mephisto, the reason I think it was an easy running gag was because it's like one of the other next biggest things. We know since Thanos is done with, we're like, what's the next big bad? And for what it's worth, Mephisto kind of fits in that category of what could potentially be that. So I think we were all just desperate for it to be something along those lines. And yeah, there were some connections that, to be fair, was like, this is a good connection, but a lot of it was pretty, hey, this is a stretch. With this is like in your face. Kang's about to show up. Like I really, at this point, I think, to say that I would be upset if Mephisto didn't show up in WandaVision prior to seeing all of it in its entirety, be like, yeah, I guess I'd be sad, but okay. But with this, if Kang doesn't either show up or there's not a concrete, like, sort of, admitting his existence somehow, I guess, then I'm going to be really, like, blown away.
Yeah, me too. Right? I think that he's going to show up, or set it up for. He's in Ant-Man 3, right? He's going to be the villain in Ant-Man 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Set it up for that somehow or something. Yeah.
I agree with both of you, and I agree with Dan. I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Eric says, Jace, you don't have any Funko Pops?
Sorry, I don't.
I only have two.
Which ones?
I have a Harry Potter one from Order of the Phoenix where he has the prophecy in his hand. Order of the Phoenix, right? Yeah, Order of the Phoenix. And then I have a Freddie Mercury.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Send me some. I'm not like against them, I guess. Yeah, I just never got them.
Well, Dan has like 1,000. Right, Dan?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Eric, we saw Frog Thor, I think, didn't we?
Yes!
This is the part of the Loki live stream where we'll mention it. We saw Frog.
Yes! Dude, I don't know why I'm like so stupidly excited about this.
Dan, did you notice that?
And yes, yeah. That was I didn't make the connection because we talked about it last week, but yeah, I didn't make the connection, but yeah.
It was so funny, bro. Like as they're going down, you see Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, yep.
And then a freaking jar with Frog, Thor, and the first thing I thought about was Jace. Like Jace has been wanting to see Frog Thor for so long, and when I saw him in that jar, I said, "Oh man, this is gonna be it. This is Jace's favorite moment of the entire series."
That's I was gonna say that alone, right? Dude, come on, you mix that with Richard E. Grant and anything else that we get. Like, how do you top this? But again, that's just for me saying because of having fun, dude. I literally had to rewind it, just like I did with the Kang on the Avengers Tower. I had to rewind it so many times. I was like, Throg, give us more Throg. We need more. I need a spin-off, like not a series, but I want like just a side little, like, flashback of an episode where we see Throg versus Alligator Loki.
You know what, guys? I could see a post-credit scene of Loki being Throg getting out of the jar.
Yeah.
I can see it. I don't know. I definitely did not see that. Man, that's right after the Frog Thor thing. So wait, but you just mentioned it, Eric. How did you not see it?
Yeah.
Explain,
Eric, if you didn't, it's right when the Lokis are going down into their hidden area, like their little hideout. It's as they're going down, the camera starts going down, and you see Mjolnir in the dirt, and then Frog Thor is in a little jar and he's like hopping around and grunting and stuff.
Eric says, I think the Mephisto stuff was stretching it. Yeah, so to get back to what we were talking about, I agree. I think the Mephisto stuff was stretching it. So that's why like we were like, oh, it's going to be Mephisto in WandaVision. But there was enough there to also counteract that argument and say, not really. I see more of Agatha Harkness. And there were two people fighting. Mephisto, Agatha Harkness. Guys, when it comes to this, I don't see an avenue where Kang is not at least introduced in Loki. It doesn't make sense. If it acts like a duck, if it sounds like a duck, it's a duck, right? But Mephisto's different because Mephisto, yeah, it's like you said, Dan, there was a little fly. But not here, bro. There's buildings with his name on it. There's literal, like, the Alioth, the connection with him, Renslayer, the connection with him, the time with... Yes, Chase.
Well, I was gonna say, since we're on a roll about this, so there's another one. It's jumping to the very end of everything, but when that like portal opens up, if you will, into like wherever the next place they're clearly going to is, the castle, at least. So without going to like crazy detail at the moment, but the castle is like totally another connection there. It could be a bunch of different things. There's no concrete what it is yet, but there's a lot of people that think that is, again, I wrote this down too. It's the Castle Limbo, which is basically like the comic book home of Immortus, and Immortus is just the future version of Kang.
Nice. I know exactly. That'd be cool. That'll be cool for sure. Then there's me and Dan with Funkos. I mean, I guess so.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah, he has a whole bunch. The Kang thing on the Avengers Tower, haha. Dude, it's crazy. You gotta look that up, Eric. And he did see Frog Thor. And last thing before we move on, imagine the last episode is a bottle episode or a jar episode all about Frog Thor and just doesn't continue the main story at all.
I would only be so upset.
Dan would love it. I know Dan would love it.
No.
Dan, we want more Frog Thor.
I know, but not to be the last episode of this series. Or the show, at least. The season.
We need it to be a whole series.
I want Alligator Thor. I mean, Alligator Loki.
Alligator Thor. Yes. Okay, guys. Doing a little bit of fast forwarding. I want to get into two things. One is when we get to the secret hideout with the Lokis and we start finding out their backstories, why they're variants, how they got pulled out of their timeline. And two, the short little stint we had in the TVA with Sylvie and Renslayer. So concerning that one, I want to touch on that first, just to touch on Sylvie. It does seem to me that even though Renslayer is still a very bad person, that Renslayer, I do trust her when she says she doesn't entirely know what's going on and she's in the dark just as much as Sylvie is. So I believe her there. And then Sylvie ends up pruning herself, which was crazy. I was expecting it, though. I was definitely expecting it, but I just love the TVA agent's reaction. She's like, she just pruned herself. I don't know if their reaction was more of, is there something wrong that I'm not piecing together here, or if it was more of a comedic thing of like, wow, that was very anticlimactic. Dan, what'd you think about that whole little stint we had in the TVA with Sylvie and Renslayer?
Yeah, I definitely trust. Well, I trust Renslayer somewhat. That obviously she does want to know. And there was a second, just like Sylvie said, you almost had me. She almost had me that she wanted to work somewhat with Sylvie. At least until Sylvie, did her, fulfilled what her purpose to what Renslayer was. And but I don't know. I still don't know. I still think Renslayer. I don't know. But I did trust her for a second. I do think that she does want to find out what's really going on. And when Sylvie pruned herself, I saw it coming when she had the stick, and I was like, okay, she's gonna do that. But it did show that Sylvie she didn't know, because she didn't know that she could trust Renslayer. So Renslayer could have been lying that Loki was actually dead when he got pruned, but she just went with it anyway. So I thought that was interesting.
You know, real quick before I give it to Jace, I thought of Jace when she was explaining how Loki could be alive, and it says, "Oh, because some timelines cannot automatically be banished," and there was no explanation, and I just thought, "Shut up! That involves story development." That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Jace.
Yes, I love that. That's becoming a thing. That, by the way, I guess that is unofficially / officially one of my catchphrases now. Just, shut up. That involves story development. So anyway, the scene, I liked it because you know, it was just as intense as it needed to be. Like how Dan said, it ended on that note where I kind of saw that coming, but still at the end of it, I was like, all right, yeah, she was really going on a leap of faith. Right there. I think also she might have just been looking at it like, you know what? I'm probably going to be going out anyway. Like, if I do try to step up here, there's a good chance they might take me down. So I might as well go out on my own terms, and hopefully she's right, and I do end up getting sent to the void. So I think there is that part mixed in there. I do think Renslayer, for what it's worth, I would say she's entirely full of it if it wasn't for the scene showing her asking Miss Minutes, like, hey, show me the beginning of the time and every time and who's behind all this. So that was like, all right, clearly she wouldn't be bothering doing that on her own if she really didn't know some stuff. But I think she obviously knows way much more than she's leading on that she does. I wouldn't be surprised if Renslayer is a variant of the Renslayer that actually is Kang's right-hand chick. Like the Renslayer we know, if she's just a variant of the real Renslayer that is with Kang. So,
that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good theory. I like that.
I don't know, Jace. I kind of see this as an origin story of sorts for Renslayer. I get what you mean. I get what you mean, but I see, because I think isn't in the comments they're already established as sort of a couple, I guess, if you want to call it, Kang and Renslayer. I could kind of see this as a origin story of Renslayer of sorts, who doesn't know who's behind the TVA. But like you guys said, the whole scene with Miss Minutes and her alone in the hallway, that made you say, okay, I kind of trust that she doesn't know what's going on. But she says, we need to protect whoever is behind the TVA. I feel that will show a lot of loyalty. And Kang, I'm saying Kang like I know it's going to be Kang, but if it is Kang, we'll see that. They will see that, and that will create the relationship between Renslayer and Kang. If it is Kang, I see it more of an origin for Renslayer than actually like the real Renslayer's behind it all along. Yes.
So I saw that, her telling Miss Minutes that we need to protect whoever did this. Whoever started this, I see that as her covering her tracks. In case anyone heard that conversation, she has a good reason why she wanted those files. Maybe she does want to protect whoever is behind it, but I'm saying like maybe Miss Minutes will send out an alert if it's anything suspicious or something. So I saw her asking that as a way to cover her tracks and make her seem like she's asking for a good reason.
So I'm on the fence on that one, Dan, because on one hand, you could be right. It could be her covering her tracks because of the last episode with Mobius taking her time pad and seeing everything. So she kind of, she put her foot in her mouth with that moment. So maybe she learns here and says, okay, Miss Minutes is part of this whole system. So if I say something to Miss Minutes, someone could possibly rewind it or look up what I asked her. So let me do this to cover my tracks. I can see that, Dan. But I just feel like it was more of a narrative choice so that us, the audience, get to see Renslayer as somebody who's telling the truth. I don't know.
I think it just wanted to leave like the audience in a sense of confusion of like, look, nobody really knows what the hell's going on here.
The whole freaking series has been that, Jace. I got one comment before I get to the Loki thing real quick. Okay, I think it's official. I scare off most of the rest of the chat when I'm in the chat. Eric, it's not true, man. Come on now. I think it's because you're asking all the questions that they would ask. So at least that's how I see it. And he says before we move on, I don't think Renslayer knows Kang yet. Mm-hmm. but we'll meet him in the finale, and then that will be the start of her beginning as his right-hand woman, like you mentioned. She is in the comics in the previous streams. Yeah, basically echoing of what I said.
So for is it like a Joker Harley Quinn relationship where Kang is like abusive to her, or do they love each other?
Yeah, from what I've seen, and it's not like I've read every single thing with them by any means. I'm happy to say I know what I know, but I'm also quick to admit, as far as what I don't. And I know that it's not quite like that. It's not necessarily an abusive relationship, but the reason why I did think that there is a possibility that Renslayer is a variant of like the actual Renslayer is just because I wouldn't be surprised if like in the reveal of everything, we see Kang, we see the real Renslayer, who again is already Kang's right-hand chick, and it's not like she's been behind it. They both, right? Kang's been the one doing everything. She's just been kind of like helping move things along. I wouldn't be surprised if like she sees the Judge Renslayer and then like looks at Kang in like disgust and like, you used a variant of me to do your stuff, or I don't know, something like that, to cause like, not like they're gonna break up, but like that little bit of friction to show that they do have a relationship, but it's kind of on slightly rocky terms, if you will.
Okay, guys, the whole Lokis was pretty cool. I gotta say, a whole bunch of Lokis in this underground, and then the kid Loki is actually their king. And I mean, guys, that was pretty badass. I gotta say, when they said, "Why are we following you?" He said, "What did you do to break the timeline and have the TVA after you?" I killed Thor. Woo! I'd follow him too.
But that he had to have. Well, so I have two thoughts, because here's the thing: Kid Loki from the comics is not really a kid. He's actually like Loki's spirit or soul or whatever you want to call it in a child's body. So it's. I guess maybe it could be that here. They don't give any explanation. But if it really is just a child, then it's like, so you killed a child Thor? Like, that's still impressive, but
it's not.
I mean, yeah,
That's because it's probably a child Thor because he's a child. Yeah, so yeah,
still cool nonetheless. Like, I'm still there with you, because when I heard it, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you bummed me out, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Loki live stream with my co-host Dan.
I think after if I leave, I think Dan takes hosting duties because he has the awesome jacket. Sorry, Jace.
Welcome to Dan's awesome live stream. I am his co-host.
Now, there's so many different Lokis here that I want to touch on, because there's so many different personalities, different timelines, different ways that they got out of the timeline that I really enjoyed, all leading up to that little scuffle where another Tom Hiddleston Loki, yes, another Tom Hiddleston Loki for once, the one we've all been talking about with the badge, comes in and infiltrates their little lair. So fun. I could have stayed in that little lair the entire episode and would have been happy, Dan.
Yes, yeah, I love that scene. It was so fun, like you said, and it was great seeing everyone. And a little before that, but I like that the alligator just ate the wrong neighbor's cat. But yeah, no, I liked seeing everyone fighting. So the other Loki that was with them from the end credit scene, he died in that scene, or did he just stay down there because he wasn't in the rest of the episode? I must have missed it.
Say that again. Which Loki? Which Loki is that?
The other one,
boastful Loki.
The what?
They call them boastful Loki, the one who had like a makeshift hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did he die in that scene?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he just got like stuck down in the whirlwind of the fight of Lokis.
For the sake of clarity, are we talking about African American Loki?
Yes.
I didn't. Yes, I didn't want to say that, but yes.
Oh no, for the sake of clarity, because I was confused. I was confused.
Yeah, no, they just refer to him as, like, if you look in the credits and everything like that, or have subtitles on, they refer to him as boastful Loki.
Oh, okay. I mean, I honestly don't find anything wrong calling him African American Loki.
No, that's why I laughed when you said it, because I was like, I love how you preface it as if there was something bad about saying that.
Yeah. I don't know if he died then. I think they're fighting as we speak. I think they're still fighting as we speak.
I just thought he would go with everyone else, but yeah.
I don't, Dan. I think he betrayed them. He was a traitor. The moment he did that, I was like, okay, nope, I don't want to see this guy anymore. He
wanted to take over from the kid. Yeah.
So I didn't like him after that. I didn't want him together. I very much enjoyed Kid Loki, Richard E. Grant Loki, and Alligator Loki. Those were my favorite Lokis. So I was okay with it either way. Maybe if he didn't turn on them, I don't care. Whatever, it was just the fact that he turned on them. That's it. I don't want them with Loki.
I'd be curious to find out a slight bit more of the other Lokis that were with the other Tom Hiddleston, only because some of them straight up looked like, let's just grab parts out of a dumpster and make a Loki helmet. It was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I wonder what the Loki that lost his hand, the other Tom Hiddleston Loki. I want to know a little bit more about him, because they didn't touch on the fact that he is the only other complete duplicate.
Right? Yeah. Nobody at any point said like, holy crap, you two look exactly alike. And none of us also do.
Yeah. And I also want to talk about Richard E. Grant, and the reason why he got out of the timeline was because during the events of Infinity War, he cast a projection to Thanos that convinced him that he actually killed Loki, and he escaped and was on a deserted planet. And Jace, I'm pretty sure that look makes, you're going to talk about something that I'm going to mention, unless you knew about it, Dan. But years ago, when Infinity War came out and people started making Easter egg videos and theories videos, many people said that the Loki that died in the beginning of Infinity War didn't really die, and that it was just a projection the whole time. And they would point out little parts in the scene that looked like a person escaping the ship. And they said, see, this is why Loki. But no, he actually did die. Or did he? Because now Richard E. Grant, who went through the same events, said he ended up escaping the same events. So what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't right now.
Maybe Jace will get those gears grinding for us.
Well, so I haven't been as privy to the people saying all the stuff from before, like trying to make connections prior to this point. But I do think that this was a small line thrown in that is supposed to substantiate where things are going for Tom Hiddleston. Like, in other words, I feel like at some point at the end of the show, we're going to see him get to the end of his original timeline. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I could obviously go so many different directions, but I am almost thinking that we might see him where he's like, okay, this whole crazy adventure's done. I have to go back to my timeline now, and I'm going to now know what I have to do when Thanos is choking me to death. So before he snaps my neck, or before any of that happens, now I know I have to cast a projection, and that's how we're going to see the fact that, no, everything still happened the way that you saw it, but this is why now it's slightly different. And now there's no TVA at the end to stop him from being a variant from still being alive from Thanos snapping his neck and stuff. So I think basically classic Loki was indirectly giving our Loki, here's your way to get out. When you go back to your timeline, this is how you can still make it without saying it like that.
Yeah, I like that. I
also wonder this. If Richard E. Grant's Loki went through like the same stuff as Tom Hiddleston's, or I mean, it sounds like anyway, that event particularly, does that mean that when Tom Hiddleston's Loki gets older, he's going to look like Richard E. Grant? Because then maybe we'll see Richard E. Grant again.
I think so. Well, I don't know if we'll see him again, because as the years go on, Richard E. Grant only gets older, and eventually, what will happen.
Marvel is digitally de-aged before.
I like it, Chris. I like it. Guys, let's get to some two comments. My brother says, yeah, when Kid Loki said he killed Thor, he was shocked. I was too until these two bummed me out with saying, oh, but remember, John, it was a Kid Thor. Yes, it was.
But Kid Thor is still a Thor. Like, I'm not trying to completely downplay it. It's just, but it's a kid.
Yeah. Bummed out.
Sorry.
It's all good. And then Eric says, I'm not sure if I missed something, but why would Renslayer prune Mobius with his portal machine thing on him? LOL, I forgot what they're called. If she knew he could use it to come back.
No,
Yeah, Dan, I don't know.
when Sylvie got pruned, she had because Sylvie handed it to Loki, and then Loki was like, "No, if you're going, I'm going." And then Loki handed it to Owen Wilson, to Mobius. So it's Sylvie's whatever it's called. What is it called?
Tempad.
Tempad.
Sylvie's Tempad that she stole from Renslayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she gave it to. So that's how it ended up with Mobius.
Okay. All right. Good question. Good question. Eric goes, "Oh, okay. I missed that." it's all good, Eric.
There was so much that was easy to miss in this one.
Yes.
It was like that moment for Eric when he thought that episode 2 actually took place in the 1600s and it wasn't a Renaissance fair because he missed the little time card. Guys, so Sylvie ends up making it to the void with Elias chasing after her, and a wild Mobius comes in to save the day in a pizza delivery car in San Francisco, it seems, with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background.
John, because you're such a Toy Story fan, it's not to interrupt you, but did that not give you vibes of a Pizza Planet truck?
No, it didn't.
Not at all?
No.
Bro, okay, watch it again. Like, it just ever so slight, because they got like a little thing on the top, and I swear part of me was just like, it could be like a Pizza Planet delivery thing.
Dan, am I alone?
No, I didn't get that either, but I see what you're saying now that you're saying it. But it was a rocket on the Pizza Planet, right? I know that's something on top of it, but
for some reason it gave me vibes of that, and I just thought, John, that maybe it'd be something that well, okay, now I'm equally as sad as you were before.
But San Francisco, Sean would love that. So
yes, I know he would. I hope he saw the episode. So this all leads up to Sylvie getting a little hint that Elias is a living thing and that she can enchant it, like she can enchant any living thing. And they end up meeting with the other Lokis who end up escaping and come up with a plan of how to get to Elias. They all meet up and they're kind of just all sitting down. I think they're coming up with a plan. I don't remember, or they're just talking. And we get a little romance going, guys, with Sylvie and Loki. How do we feel about that, Dan? Because I know you're the romance. You're the love guru in the Cinema Squad.
I liked it. I know that I don't know. I liked it, but I feel like you could put any romance in anything, and I would like it somewhat if it's good. If it's not like creepy, but I mean, I guess you could say this is creepy because it's technically different variants of themselves. But I don't know though. They're different enough, and they look obviously different. And I liked it. I thought it was a adorable scene with the blanket and everything. I liked it.
Chase.
I'm not against it at this point. Like, if that was to become a thing, I wouldn't be like, no, why would they do that? But yeah, it's just, I think here's the one thing. I know that technically she is a different person, so that could always be the argument there. But I do find it almost funny when, like, part of his redemption arc is him not being a narcissist anymore, and yet he's falling in love with himself.
Yeah.
I just, there's that, and I get it, right? She is different enough. But yeah, it was a cute moment. There was the part I kept laughing. I was like, I feel like they're just really trying to shoehorn in this whole love story. Like, I feel like literally they wrote the whole show, and then someone was kind of like, hey, shouldn't we have like a love story element and be like, we could make the two Lokis flirt with each other? It's like, okay, because again, I'm not against it. I just feel like it's the only part of this where it does make sense. I won't say it's completely forced because it is them kind of like getting to know each other more, breaking down and really becoming like real people. Yeah, I don't know. I'm back and forth on it.
I could see that though, the shoehorning in part. It does seem shoehorned in at parts. Is there any way they could spin it that they're just friends? Because that could be a really close platonic friendship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just loving how upset John's getting at this. He's like, guys, this is great. They love each other.
I didn't like it at first. You guys know it. You can go back and see I didn't like it at first. Dan, they could have had a platonic relationship. They could have, and it would have worked amazingly, I think. I'm okay. Yeah, what's up?
I think we need more of that. We need to show, in general, just in shows and movies, a male and a female, a straight male and a female can be friends without it having to be romantic at all. Just anything, like a lesbian and a lesbian can be friends without being romantic. Anything, they can be friends.
Bro,
That's a solid point.
Yeah.
Dan's preaching, guys. Dan's preaching. I think we're gonna give him the screen. He deserves it. Dan, I'm with you. I'm completely with you when it comes to movies. We talked about this a little bit on the group chat. Why is it that kids need any romance in their films? It doesn't matter from who. Why do they need any romance? Like, show platonic relationships. Show that you can be friends with girls. That boys can be friends with girls, and that girls can be friends with boys, and vice versa. And I will say this, guys. I really liked it. I liked the romance that was kind of coming up with Loki and Sylvie, and I didn't like it at first. For me, I just think that little line that Mobius throws in the last episode of how narcissistic Lokis are, that they just are pulled to chaos. And what's more chaotic than two Lokis falling in love with each other? It's meta, but it works. And at that very moment was when I said, if this ends up being romantic, I will accept it because I think it makes sense. They look different enough. They don't necessarily act different enough, but I believe it. I don't have a problem with the romance. I like the little cue, like, blanket over her and how he's willing and she's willing to risk each other's life for one another. My only issue here, guys, is not the romance. It's the fact that Loki still feels forced as a hero.
Yeah.
I still think that out of all the issues I had from the beginning of the series, the one thing they still haven't been able to explain to me is how quickly Loki was able to become a hero. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree completely. I've seen, every episode I've been like, yeah, it just seems so forced. Yeah, he saw his future and everything, but even in his future, he had some shady sides to him, and he would still trick people and backstab them. But yeah, no, I agree.
It is a crazy experience to go through. Like, don't get me wrong, I could totally see where this would be mind warping. And I love that he mentions in the episode he doesn't even know how long it's been since since he left New York. But yeah, like how Dan was saying, even with seeing his future, it's like, okay, but you're just I would probably be weirded out too if I saw myself on a screen and knew I hadn't experienced those moments and something happened to me. But that's the point, man, is it hasn't happened. So like I can't believe it's truly affecting you as much as it is, because it's just, it could be like fake images. Like, he believes the whole thing is fake. So who's to say that he actually believes that was really his future? So yeah, it's just weird that, don't get me wrong, I actually want I want to like him. I almost am rooting for him to be the hero, but it's because, as we've mentioned time and time again, I keep having to like give that mental block a kick away. That's right. Wait a second. He's not Loki from Endgame. He's Loki from 2012. And that's the part where it's just like, I'm right there with you, John. It bothers me. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not at this point. They're so far into it. What are they going to do about it? But yeah, it's like, you expect us to buy this heavily?
Guys, let me get to some comments. Ricky from Old AF Reviewers. I'm not surprised you're up this late, if you're still up. It's pretty late for him, I'm guessing. What's up, Ricky, man? I'm so happy you're here, dude. My brother says, it did remind me of the Pizza Planet truck, and in my head, I was just thinking of all the toys driving.
Yes.
Could you imagine that when Sylvie comes in, it's not Mobius, but it's like Buzz on the pizza boxes, Yo,
I'd lose my mind. I'd be like, this is officially the best episode ever.
What's up, Dan?
You know what that kind of reminded me of it? Yes, the pizza thing was great, but what if he came driving like Lightning McQueen, basically? And it was
Well, okay, so when John was talking about last week about like Mobius being around a bunch of different, his variants and Lightning Queen driving up, the first thing I pictured was just Mobius like seeing it drive up and just seeing me like, wow, and then Lightning McQueen saying, wow, and then him saying, how, and it would just be like a bunch of back and forth of them saying words that rhymed with wow for like at least 5 minutes.
I still think that it could have been an actual race car, a red race car. That's it. It would have been a nice little Easter egg, I thought.
Yeah.
Eric says, I liked it too, Dan. Sylvie has definitely grown on me over these past 2 episodes. I think this is talking about the romance that Eric does enjoy it as well. Dude, I like it. I can't wait till they kiss.
Like I said, I'm not against it at this point. It's...
Yeah. Loki is so uncharacteristically nice, I will admit. And they still haven't really explained it. They haven't convinced me. I have a hard time they're going to in the next episode. I don't think they're going. What's up, Dan?
WandaVision, well, it was supposed to be 10 episodes. But I wonder why they made WandaVision 9 episodes and then the rest, now these 2, 6 episodes. Do you think this would have been better if it was longer?
Okay, Dan, here's the thing I wanted to mention. Unless the next episode really craps the bed, this is my favorite Marvel TV show. So I like it a lot. I can't say will it be better. Would it have been better with more? I think it's already better. This is my thoughts. What do you think, Jace?
Well, the only thing I could kind of say to add to that pile is WandaVision's episodes were just shorter in general. They never reach the length that we had with this. So I do kind of wonder if you add up the total runtime of WandaVision compared to the total runtime of Falcon Winter Soldier and this when it's eventually all aired, I do wonder how close they would be, because I know what you mean. Episode length was different, but the length of those episodes was also different too. That's why, some people are like, oh, maybe it would have been better if they released the first 2 episodes of Loki at the same time, because they did that with WandaVision. It's like, well, dude, WandaVision's first 2 episodes were like both 22, 24, something like that minutes. So it made sense, really. And it established the story further. So this, as much as I'd like to see more at the same time, I wouldn't have really been into the idea of them releasing 2 episodes at once. Not when there's only 6, and with the length that they are. So that would be the only part I would say. Let's do that afterwards. I'll do some statistics or whatever the case would be, whatever you call it, and run some numbers.
I want to add this real quick before I get to the next comment, but concerning what Eric was typing, another moment was when Loki hugged Mobius. I didn't feel it.
Oh, I loved that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, as an emotional human being, Dan, I felt that, like I'm all about like showing your love and all that. It's hard. We live in a world where it's hard to like show your outward love like that. I get that. But then the movie critic in me is going, dude, he's I don't believe it. He's not a good guy yet. Just before we get to the next comment.
I believe it more on Mobius's side, I think, at this point. Yes. No, I definitely see what you're saying, that Loki was the one that went in first. It would have made more sense if Loki went in for the handshake and then Mobius like pulled him in for a hug or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with that. I think that I liked the moment, just like how John just said. I liked it as like a fan getting all excited about stuff, and it was like, oh man, how cool is that? But right, when you really start to break it down, be critical about it, it's like, really?
And Eric saying not saying that I'm rooting for him and liking him despite that, concerning Loki. Ricky just got from work. Thought he stopped by and say hi, man. I appreciate it so much, dude. Honestly, you gotta come on earlier, man, so we can chat it up and have some fun beforehand. And Eric says, or a jet ski. I don't know what that's concerning, but I want to see Mobius on a jet ski before the series is over. That's for sure.
Maybe instead of riding on Lightning McQueen, or in Lightning McQueen, he was saying on a jet ski.
Or it's
yes,
McQueen jet ski.
Oh, Dan killed it. Dan gets to scream
twice in one stream, Dan.
Well, all 3 shows I think are in total about the same length, since WandaVision had generally shorter. Yeah, that's what Jace was talking about. Yep, totally, Eric. I think all 3 shows are roughly around 5 and 5.5 hours. About. And he liked the hug. Okay, yeah, just me and Jace did it. Wow. And my brother liked the hug too. So Dan, people love you, man. I won't give you the screen a third time, but. And the last comment before we wrap it up. But I definitely felt like I was able to get into WandaVision in a way I could never with this so far, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, since it was closer to 10 episodes, which is more of a normal length for a season of prestige television. Yes, Eric, but it's like what you said. It's still about the same time, 5 to 5.5 hours. We had more time with Wanda because it was literally 10 weeks. But it's about impact for me. And I think that's where Loki has the advantage for me.
But Johnny, wait, never mind. I was going to say, would you have said this last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess? You wouldn't have favorite. Yeah. So
No. I wouldn't have, Dan, but you can't judge a show off of just 2 episodes. You got to judge it as a whole. And from where we're at right now with Loki, I appreciate the first 2 or 3 episodes so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Now with where we've gotten to, I agree. And I think real quick, I just wanted to throw in that, like, I think it's too much forgotten that, right, we keep looking at these like shows, and it's a show, but we got to remember that like these are just basically like long movies, right? Like that. So Falcon Winter Soldier was a way to present a story that, let's be honest, that would not have worked as a 2.5-hour movie. And that, right, and it would have been stretching it to make it a 2.5-hour long movie. It probably would have been like a 2-hour theatrical release. Could you imagine trying to squeeze that story in that time? It already only worked so well with where it was at. So to me, that was just like, here's a really cool excuse to a mini series, right? Like it is a mini series. Like, people bring up about season 2. I think even, you were mentioning season 2, Falcon Winter Soldier. I'd be surprised, honestly, if there's a season 2. The same thing with Loki. I don't think with any of these. Maybe they will at some point, but I don't think they went into it with the intention of there being multiple seasons, because I don't think they were looking at this like this is a show. It's like, this is just it's a series. It's a way that, hey, if we can't have all these theatrical releases right now, let's take a different avenue to expand on these characters. I could be entirely wrong there, but I feel like that was more so their approach. And that's why I kind of went on a rant, but I don't remember where we started, but I guess that was my point.
If Eric's being honest, he thinks it actually could have worked better as a movie. I disagree, Eric. I disagree.
We already didn't get out of the Flag Smashers. Like, I already didn't care, other than maybe a scene or two. I didn't really care for Carly. I cared about her the most, but that's because she got the most character development. But even that, like, the Flag Smashers weren't developed enough.
Yeah, and even exactly, Dan. Exactly. Guys, I want to wrap this up with the very last sequence where we get Loki and Sylvie going against Alioth. Sylvie's going to enchant it to see who's really behind this. Mobius ends up leaving into the TVA. We'll probably find out next episode where that's going to lead up to. Then the whole fight happens. It kind of reminded me a little bit, Dan, Jace. I know Dan's seen it, but that like the last scene of Onward where they have to fight the dragon and it's all red smoke. It kind of reminded me. I have the same vibe. I have the same vibes for me, bro. And then Richard E. Grant with his freaking like conjuring up the entirety of Asgard.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that whole end sequence. Spoil whatever, touch on whatever, and then we'll wrap it up.
So I saw a picture of Richard E. Grant lifting up and using his powers, so I knew something was coming. So I knew when he was walking away, even though I already kind of would have known that, like when he was walking away and he looked back, I was going to, okay, he's going to come back and help or something. But no, I really, really liked this scene. I thought it was amazingly shot. It looked really epic. It felt really epic. And it just got me so excited to see what happens in the finale.
Dan, yes, bro. Epic.
Yeah.
Epic is the word for it. Jace.
Epic indeed. Yeah, no, that was so amazing. I'm so happy that like obviously it's already known if I haven't made clear enough. I'm just happy Richard E. Grant was included at all. And then John, like how you mentioned very early on, I did not expect him to have as big of a part as he did. So when he had that, like his own mini redemption arc, I think that was cool. And it really spoke volumes more than just what it was. Like it was showing that Loki as an individual can change. And I think that was something that, like, you know, the show was just trying to emulate there. There's also something else that I think was snuck in. People at one point were saying, you know, they're not too sure if Kang would be revealed in a series like this. And even though I think he will be, I guess I could kind of see where they're coming from. And they did bring up a solid point. And I can't remember who it was, but I did read somewhere that someone was saying, well, there's a line where Loki acknowledges when he's like seeing Asgard being created, and Sylvie's like, you know, how's that happening or whatever, and he mentions, he's like, I think we're stronger than we realize. And so someone was saying that could be an indirect line to speak that no, it really is just a variant Loki that's still running all this. Again, I don't believe that. I think it's Kang, but I just thought it was an interesting tidbit, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe if that still led to Kang eventually. But it was an interesting thought nonetheless. So it was, I feel like there was a lot of subliminal messages in cool ways that they were punching through. There was another thing, like how certain parts of the episode reminded me of other things. When Loki and Sylvie held hands to like enchant Alioth together, it very much gave me vibes of Guardians of the Galaxy when they all held hands together, you know, with the Power Stone stuff. So I thought that was really cool. I was kind of surprised. I thought for sure that Kid Loki would have come back as well. He seemed very much in favor of helping them. So, like, almost, if anything, more in favor than Richard E. Grant was at first. So I kind of wonder where he went off to. You know, I wonder if there's any chance of potentially seeing him again or any continuation of that. Not like I'd be terribly upset if there wasn't, but still, you know, nonetheless, that was such a great ending to that episode. It was already so great. I already loved it so much, and that was just such a fun way to end it. Such an epic, badass way for Richard E. Grant to go out. And yeah, definitely. I'll put it this way: two things. Well, no, I guess just one really. I'm interested, obviously, where the next episode's going to go, and I feel like it's almost a replication of what this, like, leading into this episode was. Like, it's like the episode ends off with opening up a doorway in a way to like a new place, and then just leaving you there in suspense of what it's going to be. And then now it's like, okay, here's a doorway to another place to leave you in suspense of what it's going to be. So I liked and I disliked that. I mean, I'm still excited. That's nitpicking, but that was just, I was like, oh, I feel like that's what they left us at last week. But now I think we're going to get more of an answer, though.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it, Jace. I thought it was great. I knew that's where it was going to end. Unlike the other episodes where you don't really know where the episode's going to end and it kind of ends, I knew, okay, the moment that portal opened up, I'm like, this is the end of the episode. There's no way. And it was. I don't have much to add to that, Jace. I agree with everything that you both said. I don't have much to add other than there is no post-credit scene here, and that was disappointing.
Yeah. I did love that line. We're more powerful than we realize, though. And then, yeah, that scene reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy when they grabbed hands, and I was like, oh, he's gonna try to enchant the thing too. Yeah, so that it was good. Yeah, I wondered where Kid Loki went to. It was
Yeah. Same, Dan. Same. He's like the king of the void. So where is he?
Yeah.
I also thought it was kind of weird that when like they go to enchant Alioth, they don't like he just disintegrates. Like nothing actually happens. You know, like that. I thought that was a little anticlimactic. It was immediately followed up by that portal opening up, so I thought that was really cool. But I was like, wait, weren't we just gonna like? Wouldn't that be kind of cool to see? Like, could you imagine them dipping into the memories of Alioth?
Shut up. That involves story development.
You're great, John. I love you.
So guys, the final thing we're going to be getting into, sadly enough, will be our final theories, because the next episode is the final episode. So it will be our final theories. There is one comment I want to get to. Guys, get your comments in now. After the final theories, I'll read them, and that's it. I won't read anything after you see final theories. The lettering is gone. I won't be taking any new comments, but I will be reading whatever you write in. Eric says, Dan, why are you looking at spoilers concerning the Richard E. Grant Conjuring?
No, earlier I left YouTube on, but I didn't have the sound on, and it went to the next video, which was another reviewer. And when I went back to the tab, I forgot that I had that open, and then it was just showing that. So, yeah.
Oh, I just remembered how great was it when alternate Tom Hiddleston's hand got his. Yeah, we talked about it just a little bit, but it was so funny, bro. And Scott from the Gringo Scott Productions is here, just stopping by to say what's up, guys. I'm watching the episode right now. I'll watch y'all video later. Peace. Of course, Scott, of course. He's been super into Loki as well. I've been loving his recap videos. So excited for that, Scott. Guys, final theories. I have one, but I want to save it for last.
Of course.
Jace, you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'm curious what you got, Dan.
Okay. I don't know. I don't really. I just think it's King, and I want it to be King. And I don't have any. I just want to know: does Mobius feel safe enough that he went in there alone to the TVA? You know, that's what I was wondering. And also, no ending of a Marvel show has got to be more mad that it ended, or wanting more than WandaVision. Like every time we saw that "Please Stand By," you know, that was just I wanted to add that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any concrete theories right now.
Okay. Oh, good then. I know you're still going through PTSD after WandaVision.
All right. I got something, and it's confusing, but I think it will. I guess it's depending on how you look at time travel stuff. So I think that castle, whatever we saw in the distance, whatever that building was that in the portal opening, I think that was Castle Limbo, which again is kind of like where Immortus stays. And again, just for clarity, Immortus is just a future version of Kang. I can't remember for the life of me why he keeps switching names, but whatever. So I have a feeling that they're going to realize that it's Immortus that's behind all of this. In other words, he's the one that has been trying to construct the sacred timeline, because he knows that his past self as Kang the Conqueror was trying to be all chaotic and disrupt the multiverse and create it. And he's just like, no, that's not the way to go. So I think it's really going to be actually not just like a one new Thanos. I think it's going to be an interesting dilemma between Immortus and Kang that we're going to see starting here. And that just all be revealed, right? That he's going to say, yeah, my past self is out there somewhere causing chaos, and that's why I'm trying to stop all the variants and create one sacred timeline.
I like that. Yeah,
I like it too, Jace. I see it happening, because if someone says, oh, it's going to be Kang, it's going to be Kang, and if in classic Marvel fashion it's not Kang, it's going to be some version of Kang, Immortus. You're talking about Castle Limbo, and that is helmed by Immortus. Yeah.
I think Kang's still going to be in there, right? Yeah. I think like Kang is going to be the big bad, but like Immortus might be the one introduced first to reveal Kang. Like I think he might be the one to explain, in the past, I was a conqueror of multiple timelines and everything. And for whatever reason, not saying he's necessarily a good guy now, but like now I am not like that anymore, right? Just like how we may look at a younger version of ourselves and be like, why did I do that when I was that age? I think maybe he's thinking of that as like when he was Kang, like, why did I do that? Let's try to really organize things and not have so much chaos. Whereas Kang is still going to be in full-blown chaos mode. And that's going to be an interesting dilemma that now all of a sudden all of the MCU has to deal with.
Jace, is it Limbo, Limbo?
Yeah.
Does it have anything? When you first said it, I thought of Purgatory. It's not anything like that, though, is it? Like,
to be honest with you, I don't know if it's more of like I think it may be like an indirect reference to that. I'm not sure if there's anything in the comics that like makes it concrete that that's why it's called that. But I do think that's like trying to be a subtle reason why they call that.
So my theory is actually more of like a fan theory, fan guess or anything. It has nothing to, this is literally not going to happen, but it's more of a, how cool would this be, guys? So at the very end, we get that little portal scene. We see the castle, and I'm like thinking 1,000 things in my head. What the heck is that? What castle is that? Have I seen that in the comics before? Like at first I was thinking, is it the X Mansion? There's no way. Like it's not the X Mansion. No, it's not. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Immortus is, I think it's Kang. It's Kang. I mean, that's where my money's at. But just to put this out there, how cool would it be, because we're talking about castles and we don't really know the environment that the castle is around. How cool would it be that when they walk into that door, that the person there greeting them in the castle is Victor Von Doom?
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. I knew it. As soon as you start saying other things about castle, I was like, Doctor Doom's castle. Dr. Doom's castle. Yes, absolutely.
What if it's Latveria? What if it's Latveria, which is the country that Doom rules over? And when they walk in, it's Dr. Doom, and this Kang thing was just Mephisto. It was Mephisto thing all over again, because Doom in the comics has also fiddled around with timelines, Dan, if you didn't know. So it could make sense if you introduce a Dr. Doom, because he's messed around with time before. Dan, I don't know. I'm reading you, but I don't know where you're.
No, I didn't know anything about that. I thought you were gonna say something even crazier, like Cinderella, because you love Disney so much. And then when you say cast, I'm just thinking like Harry Potter, or for Eric, Game of Thrones. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be really cool though. I do want to see Doctor Doom in the MCU at some point, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I still think like I think it's Kang or Immortus. Immortus, yeah.
John, if I'm not right, I want you to be right. Like I love that. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not encouraging Marvel to keep doing this. As a matter of fact, I'd like this to be a good sign of stop it. Stop putting something in front of us only to be like, it was them all along. I can't stand it. But with that being said, if all of this stuff was being hinted at Kang, only for it to then be a reveal of Doctor Doom, this is probably the one time I would not be that upset. Like, because I want to see Kang, don't get me wrong, but like, I also really want to see Doctor Doom, and it would make so much sense. And especially since they're, of course, gonna get to the point where Fantastic Four comes into play, this would be a perfect way to explain it. Obviously, he'd explain the multiverse is at hand. He's the one that's been trying to piece things together into his ideal utopia, and that would be a way for us to eventually see Fantastic Four. Heck, maybe it could be just like a weird, like Civil War was a cool way to introduce Black Panther and Spider-Man. Maybe we could have a movie that, I don't know whose movie it would be, but then all of a sudden you would see the Fantastic Four like pop up also there to fight Doctor Doom, and it's just like, who the heck are you guys? When they'd be like, well, yeah, who the heck are you too? Like, we're here to stop this guy. And they're like, so are we. Like, oh, let's be friends.
Dude, it's so cool. Isn't, the little city that's inside the quantum realm? I don't know what it's called, but people say that Kang rules over that city that's in the quantum realm. It's actually like yes, it's in the comics, and there was a little Easter egg of this in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Kang is the ruler of this. Man, I don't know if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a point in the comic books where Doom takes over it?
I don't want to say for sure, but I feel like I remember that too. So I won't say 100%, but that does sound really familiar.
Wait,
also, as a tiny side note, you brought up Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did you guys notice the enormous Yellow Jacket helmet that they went past in the Void? There's that. Ronan ship is in the Void. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Like, but look, because there's a part where they're like zooming into everything, and you see it's an enormous, like, as if just like how Ant-Man can turn big, so can Yellow Jacket. So yeah, there's an enormous Yellow Jacket helmet.
No, I didn't.
When you say the town that's in the place that's in the quantum realm, you mean where Michael Douglas and saved Michelle Pfeiffer from, with all the bugs and things?
Well, that's the quantum realm, but there is a little Easter egg as they're getting out of the quantum realm that if you pause it, you see a little city in the distance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you guys not know that?
No.
Yeah. Check it out after this. There's a little city in the distance of the quantum realm. Yeah, it's a legit city.
Whoa. Okay.
All right, so before we wrap up, let's get to the comics. Yeah, let's get to the comics for sure. So Scott stayed on while he was watching the show in the other room. Awesome. Nice. Appreciate it. And Kevin, it's Kevin, everyone.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey guys, I'm just dropping by so I can see my name in these live sessions. I will watch this as soon as I get to the episode. You guys are killing it so far. Keep it up, bros. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Kevin legit watches this from beginning to end, and he leaves me a message that's like this long.
Oh, nice.
So
Kevin, you're the man.
I appreciate you so much, Kevin, for real. Let's see. Hugh Jackman for the finale. Eric, get out of here, bro. You guys have me 100% convinced it's going to be some version of Kang. Some version of Kang. That's the good phrasing there. This land they are in this episode reminds me of the Marvel version of the Nightmare World. I don't know the Nightmare World as much, but as a fan of the multiverse like you, Jace, it did remind me of like a Battle World.
No,
yes. Well, I don't know about Nightmare World too much, because Nightmare World has more like trippy stuff going on, and it's like not everything is just completely destroyed and desolate, but nonetheless, I can see the connection there somewhat, though. I mean, I see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
We're gonna say Dan?
That I was pretty much gonna say that, like that. I could see where he's coming from, definitely. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it until now.
Oh wait, Nightmare World is a DC thing.
Yes. So we're in the post-credit scene of Justice League Snyder cut, and Batman vs Superman, that world,
yeah, like I said, it's very close, because I mean it is very much apocalyptic, like, you know what I mean. It's just that I guess there's just more still going on in Nightmare. Anyway, it's still a good connection. I see where he's coming from.
I thought when I first read the con, I thought he meant Nightmare, like the Marvel character as well.
For a brief moment, yeah, me too.
Same. Guys, that is the end of our Loki live stream for episode 5, the penultimate episode. It's a little sad, but we got to go all out for the next episode. Before we go out, like always, I want to give my co-hosts a chance to put themselves out there. If you guys are not subscribed to them, go ahead and subscribe to them. So let's start with you, Jace.
Thanks, man. So please check me out at Burja Rocar if you want to see even more talking about this series, especially like different opinions on here that maybe I didn't even share on the live stream. I do my own episodic breakdowns and reviews as well as I like to be hyping up this new series that I've started, or what could have made it better. There's currently one for WandaVision, so if you're into the Marvel stuff, check that out. And if you like that, then check out the first one I did, which is focusing on Mortal Kombat. And I'm so tempted to say what the next one is in the works, but I don't want to spoil anything yet because it's still in the works. But there's another one in the works. But anyway, come over and subscribe. I appreciate it.
Jace, like always, bro, thank you so much for being here. You've been here since episode 2, man, and you'll be here till the very end. I appreciate you so much, man. Your insight's awesome, honestly.
Thank you.
All right, man, stick around. Dan. It's sad, bro. It's almost ending. Do you remember when we started this? It was like just me and you, and we recorded something on Skype. We edited it down to like 15 minutes, and here we are for an hour and 20.
I know. Yeah.
It's freaking crazy, man. Dan, before I give it to you, I see some comments. Just let me. Okay, great. All right. I just wanted to give people a chance if it was something important, but thank you guys for coming on and checking that out. I want to give it over to Dan. Dan, what do you got coming up?
So I should have a Tomorrow War review soon. I want to say tomorrow, but just to like be fun. But I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow, but definitely within the next few days. And I just did Luca with me eating the pasta from it. I did Lost in the Reels, just hit 2K, so do his entry if you have not yet. And I just did The Purge and Fear Street 1994, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the Fear Street movies. So that's about it.
Dan, like always, bro, thank you so much for being on this with me, being my co-host. Can never do it without you guys, you know? So, but stick around, Dan. Stick around.
Bye, everyone.
Guys, if you haven't already, like this video, share this video with family and friends, and subscribe to my channel. Till next time, movie fans.